Now, I'm not here to pitch product, I have to admit. And when you see the brand Intel, hands up who knows Intel. I should start with that question. That's good. Ask a Gen Z that question. No, that's a problem. That's a problem. And I just need my slides up the back. Let's see what happens. Okay, I need a bit of help from the production team. Anyway, I'll kick off the presentation. I actually asked Gemini the other day, what were the most used adjectives used to describe Intel over the last 18 months? Has anyone asked that question about the public persona of your company? And it came back with beleaguered, troubled, really struggling. And as a CMO, trying to combat the very public persona becomes very, very difficult. I mean, how do you battle what the street says, what the analysts say, when you have that type of noise around the company? And if you think about Intel, and this is the thing, you look at Interbrand, we were the #4 top brand in the world. Wind the clock back about 15, 20 years, we were #4. And then you wind the clock forward, and we're now number 37, and we dropped 20 places just last year. And as a CMO, you don't like that sort of thing. But again, how do you reinvent a brand that was built on the back of the PC? Yep. Now, what's also interesting is when I asked Gemini, and I'm doing this presentation by memory, so please bear with me. The other 3 words that came out were strategic, transforming, changing. And that, to me, better reflected actually what the mood was inside the company versus what you hear outside. All right, there are a lot of rumors moving around the company. We're about to be split, we're about to be acquired, we're about to do this, that, the other. And that just drowned out any mention or desire to break through with, oh my God, we actually got some pretty amazing tech. And the thing that when we were a #4 brand, PCs used to cost, I don't know whether anyone's old enough to remember buying their first PC. I do. It was $6,000 Australian dollars. You had to take a personal loan to buy it. Not so much these days, $499, $399. What we're trying to do is obviously get people to think about, why wouldn't you pay $599 for an AI PC, AI-enabled on the device, versus pumping everything to the cloud? And that's a little bit of a struggle when people are now conditioned to paying $399, $499 for browsing on the web. But you're quite happy forking out, just like I did, $12.99 for an iPhone 17 Pro, because we're on it all the time. So what we've been doing, oh, there's my presentation. Let's see if I was good with the memory. What we've been doing is that you have to, when you're trying to relaunch a brand, it has to be bound in product truth. Hands up, who's actually a marketer? How many times have you marketed something you just don't believe in? I think that's, yes. I think that's actually time when you start looking for another job, because it's really hard to be passionate yourself, let alone be passionate about pushing a message out to market where you truly are trying to encourage people to look at it again. Now, the good thing about Intel, and I wish I had the picture to show you, but we've bought 3 of the only machines in the world at a cost of around $500 million each to produce the world's smallest transistor. The world's smallest transistor, which means that we can pack more and more stuff onto that thing that sits inside your laptop, your tablet, hopefully your mobile phone, yeah? And the thing is, the beauty of this, people in the 90s used to understand because they were paying $6,000 to buy their device. When Intel is so disintermediated from the actual consumer because we're only an ingredient in the HP laptop, an ingredient in the Dell laptop, yeah? what is our role, and as a brand and as a marketing company, to educate a wide market about the beauty of what's inside. So we're lucky that we got product truth. And in actual fact, this week, there's the machine. You can see that, yeah? Just double checking the AV. Yeah? Just a little fact about this thing, they actually drop pellets of tin superheated with a plasma laser to form a gas so they can project light through it to actually form a print on the silicon wafer. That's how fancy this stuff is and why it costs so much. Like I said, only 3 in the world. One of them is in Arizona. I was out there last week, where our new chip, Panther Lake, comes to life to breed a whole new type of experience into PCs in 2026. So product truth for us is this Panther Lake device. And the only reason I've got a little block over the percentage increase of CPU, GPU, hopefully you know what those terms are, just central processing unit, graphic processing unit. I'll tell my close set of friends here, 50% improvement, 50%. Now that means not only faster gaming and faster creative work, but it also means faster small language models. And just the very short time I was here this morning, everyone talking about AI. But all the focus is on training AI in the cloud, as opposed to what you can do on your PC, right? Locally. So it doesn't have to breach security going to the cloud. You don't have to pay all those things. You can run your small language model on your device for free, all right? Hundreds of billions of dollars and nuclear reactors going into processing AI in the cloud. But there's also this opportunity to push AI to the edge. And that's what we're investigating. But how does this link back to marketing and the brand? Now, I've got here, we've got a product truth, but the marketing team had to own its own truth. And so I had a meeting, and some of the team in the audience there know I had this meeting with our new CEO, Lip-Bu Tan, about 2 weeks ago. And I came in because he said, I don't want to know about it doing well. I want to know what is not working. And that's just how he runs the company. And so I walked in, and I've hidden all the details because a lot of it's secret. Misperformance. But I'll give you a couple of examples, all right? Fragmented strategy. Intel was running hundreds of programs around the world. None of them conjoined, none of them consistent. If you're trying to do a marketing message well, you've got to consolidate them. So we contracted them to 6. So only 6 campaigns globally, yeah? Agility and time to market. I don't know whether you're suffering the same thing. It took us 7 months to launch a campaign. How can you operate in a world such as AI if you're only releasing a campaign once every 7 months? And if you're talking about hyper-personalization, you can't be hyper-personalized in 7 months. So really driving agility. Other ones, fiscal responsibility. We overspend, underspend, 10%, 20% every quarter, down now to plus or minus 1%. Partner integration. 65% of my budget goes through partners. How do we work with Dell, HP, Lenovo, Acer, Asus, and not just pay checks on a logo being in the right place for an ad that we pay for? And luckily, I've got brilliant CMOs in the partner community who want to work together. And again, if you're trying to relaunch your brand, you really need to start working with who has the tonnage in market to represent that brand. And it's not us. It's actually our partners. The other one, this is the last one on the slide I'll talk to, but the skills mismatch. Who here has AI engineers in the business? Oh, look at that. That's good. I had none. I didn't really even have an ABM team. And yet we're a B2B, B2C business. 50% of our revenue comes from commercial and enterprise, not consumer. So really looking at the balance of skills, does it meet where technology is going? Did it meet the audiences that we're trying to reach to? And we had a real issue, which is why we had to be bold. And it wasn't easy for us. It wasn't easy for us because I had to let go 90% of my several hundred person team. It happened in July and August. I'm now a global marketing team of 70, down from 350. And the main reason is that we needed to reboot the whole org. New skills, new engineering, people who are experts in their area. And I knew it'd be difficult to do that, all that hiring, all that onboarding, all that training. And we wanted to leapfrog that process of reboot by working with Accenture. So I've got a 5-year contract with Accenture to transform using AI, make us hyper-personalized, bring all the best AI tech in, program all of this amazing MarTech that we've bought but never used properly to help us represent what Intel is to the various audiences that we're trying to sell to. It's a big project, and we're right in the thick of ramping it up, but I've been very impressed by what we can do. The other big bold is Intel Inside. Who remembers this campaign? It's awful following in the footsteps of this campaign because all I ever do is get reminded about how great that was. But I remind the people that ask me that question, what are we doing? Well, we're going to embrace it, not run from it. It's just that Intel Inside in the 90s, Pentium, we had to really look at what does it mean today? And so we did this.
So here's the thing. All the greatness in the world, every feat, every breakthrough, every game-changing, paradigm-shifting accomplishment you admire out there, didn't come from out there. See, greatness, true greatness, your greatness, it can be easy to lose sight of. But it's here, inside all of us, inside you. And greatness, that can always grow greater. All it needs is ignition. So let's hit that switch, push the throttle, kick that door wide open. After all, we know a thing or two about what's inside, how to amplify it, how to multiply it, accelerate it. So you're not just leaning into the future, you're launching into it. With more ingenuity inside, more creativity inside, more security, innovation, intelligence. Because that greatness inside you, that is your superpower. Helping you unleash it? That's ours.
That little ding, 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 that's called the Intel bong, weirdly. All right. What we did there was change it from being a sticker on a device reflecting a CPU to actually being the power of the individual. And what I loved about it, because we spent a lot of money going out and finding new 2 words to describe who we are. And they did 300 little post-its, and they just couldn't think of 2 better words than Intel Inside. But what we needed to do is just redefine exactly what that is. Yeah? Now, what we're also doing is just creating experiences that reflect the best of what is new about Intel. So this is a pop-up store in London on Oxford Street. We're doing one on 6th Avenue in New York for the 9th of November, where people get to touch an AI PC and what people can do with an AI PC, whether it's a business, whether it's a consumer. And what we really wanted to do is just be bold and beautiful. Because if I get surprised by an Apple store with always 200 people in it for the 3 devices that they sell, a phone, a tablet, a PC, they know how to do it right. So we try to replicate those things. What is also good is that we are so big in the gaming community. We don't have leadership on the performance side. That's one of our competitors, but we get it back in a year. But what do we do in the meantime? And again, working with partners to go do that. We also want to just reintroduce these devices to an enterprise who thinks $599 is okay. That's all my worker needs. And if we can achieve that lifting of $599 to $899, it's a good thing for the industry, because at the moment, the industry just wants to drive down the price. And a race to nothing, no one wins. So that's what we've been working on. And this is the last slide I want to leave you with. So this is a recent brand study. And you can see Intel, from a brand consideration, is still up there. Yeah? What we're not on is the style seekers. All right, Apple takes that crown. But what I'm encouraged by with these new efforts that we're making, the stronger partnerships that we make, we're starting to see a turn in the slow decline that we saw. And then hopefully we'll start to see that being reflected in an interbrand study that's only published once a year. But we'll see. All right, team. Fantastic to meet you all. This is an amazing stage, by the way. All right, thanks.